Francisco Conceição addresses Liverpool 52 meters transfer links as Mohamed Salah replacement rumours grow. Francisco Conceição is one of a number of wide forwards being linked to Liverpool after Mohamed Salah confirmed he would leave the club at the end of the season. Francisco Conceição has addressed the reports linking him to Liverpool as the Premier League champions assess their transfer options to replace the departing Mohamed Salah. Modern-day Reds legend Salah dropped a bombshell on Tuesday night, March 24th, when he confirmed he would be leaving the club at the end of the season after 9 decorated years. After tributes were paid by teammates, past and present, supporters and pundits, attention has started to turn to who Liverpool could target to succeed a player who has scored 255 goals in 435 games at Anfield. One of the names reportedly in the frame is 52-meter rated Juventus and Portugal winger Francisco Conceição, and the speculation has clearly reached the player himself after he was asked about the links ahead of Portugal's friendlies with Mexico and the USA over the international break. Conceição said, "I know people talk about a big club, but I play for a big club where I am happy. At the moment, I'm only focused on these 2 games with the national team, and then I will focus on the final stretch of the season to help my club as much as possible." Conceição joined Juventus, initially on loan from Porto, in August 2024, and after taking over the number 7 shirt, left vacant by Federico Chiesa's departure to Liverpool, he scored 7 goals in 40 appearances last summer. The 23-year-old was a key transfer target for the Reds' Merseyside rivals Everton during the summer, but he instead completed a 32 Lamadou's permanent move to the Italian Giants, where has netted a further 4 goals in 34 appearances so far this season. With Juventus in a fierce fight to qualify for the Champions League, Conceição added, "I am at a big club, where the pressure to win is very high. I just have to keep working and contribute with goals and assists. My objective is to help with goals and assists. That is what I try to do. I must continue every day to show that I have the ability to help the national team and be helped by them to keep improving." Conceição is not the only wide forward reportedly on the Reds' radar. Bayern Munich's Michael Olise, Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers, Paris Saint-Germain's Bradley Barcola and RB Leipzig's Jan Diomande have also been tipped as potential replacements for Salah. But whereas Juventus's stance on losing Conceição is unknown, Bayern have made it clear they have no intention of losing Olise, the former Crystal Palace winger who is enjoying the season of his life. Munich chief executive Uli Hoeneß bluntly said, "Remember, Liverpool spent 500 millimeters last summer and is having a very bad season. So we won't be contributing to them playing better next year." While Bayern director of sport Max Eberl said, "We're not even wasting a thought on that. He is a Bayern Munich player and has every opportunity here that top players could wish for. We want to shape the future with him. Give him time." Liverpool fans told to be patient with world-class star Jurgen Klinsmann backs Florian Wirtz to thrive at Liverpool next season. Florian Wirtz's first campaign in Liverpool colours has been anything but straightforward, yet there is a growing sense that the German playmaker is edging closer to fulfilment on Merseyside. Arriving amid transition and expectation, Wirtz has offered glimpses of elite quality without consistently replicating the heights he reached at Bayer Leverkusen. According to Jurgen Klinsmann, that trajectory is entirely natural. Speaking candidly about Wirtz's adaptation, Klinsmann dismissed concerns around the player's adjustment period, framing it instead as a necessary evolution. "No, it didn't surprise me at all," Klinsmann explained. "He moved from an extremely strong Bayer Leverkusen side, where everything was relatively calm, structured and under control, to an absolutely massive club, one of the biggest in the world. It's similar to moving to FC Bayern Munich. It's anything but easy. There is a sense that Wirtz has been navigating not just a new league, but a new identity within a side still finding its rhythm. Adaptation challenges, shaping Wirtz's development. Liverpool's current environment has required patience. Wirtz, still only 22, has been deployed across multiple attacking roles, often tasked with interpreting different tactical instructions under pressure. While that versatility speaks to his intelligence, it has arguably diluted his most potent qualities. Kilnsman highlighted the psychological and structural upheaval involved in such a move. I even said on TV here in the USA, when people were being critical of him, give him time. He just needs time to settle in. It's a completely new adventure hitting him all at once. But the kid is good, and in the end, quality always comes through. And that's exactly what's happening now. There is a discernible shift in Wirtz's performances in recent weeks. His touch has sharpened, his decision-making has quickened, and crucially, he has begun to impose himself between the lines, where Liverpool need him most. Creative role key to unlocking potential. For Wirtz to fully flourish, clarity of role appears paramount. Rather than drifting across the attacking third, his influence is maximised when he operates centrally, dictating tempo and threading passes through congested defensive structures. Klinsmann believes this evolution is already underway. He's establishing himself, putting his stamp on the game. Even if he's not scoring as many goals as he did at Leverkusen yet, that will come in year 2 or 3. I have no concerns about that. That projection aligns with Liverpool's long-term vision. Insiders view Wirtz not as a short-term solution, but as a cornerstone of the club's next cycle. His technical profile, close control, spatial awareness, and progressive passing, fits the blueprint of a modern attacking midfielder tasked with unlocking deep blocks. Long-term outlook points to breakout season. What emerges from Kilnsman's assessment is a clear narrative. Patience will be rewarded. Wirtz's first season may lack the statistical sheen of his Bundesliga exploits, but the foundations are being laid for a more dominant second act. He stayed strong, didn't give up, kept a positive mindset, Klinsmann added. He had to adapt to completely different teammates and a different style of play. That's why I'm a big fan of Florian Wirtz. And you have to say, overall, he's had a very good season. Not the extraordinary season he had at Leverkusen, but he's a top player, and that will all come back in time. As Liverpool approach a decisive phase domestically and in Europe, Wirtz's upward curve could not be better timed. With a World Cup on the horizon, his form will also carry significant weight on the international stage. The original reporting from Rousing the Cop captures a moment of transition for both player and club, but also hints at something more enduring, a belief shared by Kilnsmann that Wirtz is on the cusp of something special. Real Madrid ready, bold move for departing Liverpool hero. Real Madrid are preparing a bold move for a departing Liverpool star. The Reds may be saying goodbye here. Liverpool are still deep in talks with Ibrahima Konate as they seek a new contract for the Frenchman. Konate's deal is currently set to expire at the end of the season. Richard Hughes and company have been in those talks for 18 months now, but getting Konate to commit on their terms is proving difficult. It may actually prove impossible. So as things stand, Konate will leave Liverpool at the end of the season. It increasingly appears that it would take a massive turnaround to change that, as the two parties simply cannot agree. And that appears to have brought Real Madrid firmly into the fold. They were heavily linked with a move for Konate last year, but that appeared to come to an end with their decision to abandon a pursuit. However, things have changed since then. Dayot Upamecano, Marguehi and Nico Schlotterbeck now all look to be off the table, and it leaves them back wanting Konate. That's according to Sport Bild, who report that Real Madrid will in fact make a move for Liverpool's defender, with the Reds having been in talks for so long, and for Los Blancos to be quite so blatant about using Konate as a second choice, or even last resort. It's a bold move. Ibrahima Konate situation summary. As of 26 March 2026, Ibrahima Konate is at a major crossroads with his Liverpool career. His current contract is set to expire this June, and despite over a year of negotiations, no extension has been signed. Reports suggest he has turned down an offer to stay until 2030, fueling intense speculation regarding a free transfer to Real Madrid this summer. Fitness and availability. Arne Slot recently confirmed that Konate is completely fit following a brief period of hamstring discomfort that saw him start on the bench against Tottenham. He played a role in the recent 4-0 Champions League win over Galatasaray and is expected to be a key figure for the remainder of Liverpool's campaign as they push for a top 5 finish. International duty Konate is currently with the France national team for friendlies against Brazil and Colombia. He is expected to start in tonight's high-profile match against Brazil. This season, he has been a pillar of the Liverpool defence when healthy, contributing to 9 clean sheets across 29 Premier League appearances. The new main, Liverpool-ready blockbuster move for 75mm Diamandi upgrade. Remarkably, this is Liverpool's 3rd season in the past 6 years that you might call topsy-turvy. The Anfield side embraced both the peaks and the valleys of the great game, winning 2 Premier League titles and the Champions League, among other honours, since Jurgen Klopp changed the course of the club's history when appointed a decade ago. Arne Slot earned his flowers when guiding Liverpool to the Premier League title in their first year, without Klopp in the dugout, surpassing just about everyone's expectations. But the Dutch coach has been a pale shadow of last year's self for the lion's share of the campaign, with the Reds 5th in the table. Much hinges on forthcoming knockout ties against Manchester City in the FA Cup and Paris Saint-Germain over 2 legs in the Champions League quarter-finals. While there has been a clamour for Slot to receive his P45, the briefings suggest FSG maintain their backing of the head coach, with summer transfer plans tailored to his system. Liverpool plan Mohamed Salah's succession. The summer transfer window won't be as busy as last year's record-breaking spending spree, but Mohamed Salah's announcement this week has underlined the need for a new top winger. The Egyptian king will leave the club on a free transfer, having tumbled from his inimitable standards since almost single-handedly charging last year's title triumph. Replacing this legend is an impossible and unenviable task, but it's one that Slot and Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes need to take on and emerge with a new right winger who can play an important role for a team chasing titles. Bayern Munich's Michael Olise and PSG prospect Desire Doué have emerged as top contenders, but both wingers are deemed untouchable by their outfits. RB Leipzig's Jan Diomande, 19, is a more realistic target, but FSG have been dissuaded by the Ivorian's 87 price tag. As per Team Talk, Liverpool have found a controversial alternative in Everton's Iliman Ndiaye, who is also wanted by Manchester United and valued at 75 miximitas, with the Reds said to be ready to launch a move for the Toffees talisman. Obviously, this isn't going to be an easy one to pull off, but Liverpool's interest is genuine, and Ndiaye has his eye on higher European ground after 2 impressive years at Goodison Park. Why Liverpool want to sign Iliman Ndiaye? You'd have to trace right back to 2002 to find the last time Liverpool and Everton engaged in a direct first-team transfer. Abel Xavier joined the Reds for around $750,000 after 3 years as a toffee, but his time at Anfield was nothing to write home about. Ndiaye would arrive with a different weight of expectation. The 26-year-old has scored 17 goals and supplied 3 assists across 64 matches for Everton, topping their scoring charts last season. Owner of frightening speed and tricksy dribbling skills, he's exactly what Slot's side have been missing. In fact, one notable Premier League analyst has even remarked that Ndiaye is Mane all over again, and not just because of shared citizenship. Ndiaye is a devastating and direct winger, combative against the ball and relentless in driving it into the danger area. He can score and he can assist. Diamande has the world at his feet, but Liverpool simply cannot spend a 9-digit figure on a player who is so early in their career. Florian Wirtz, for example, is proof that the Premier League is a hard division to adapt to, and Ndiaye has been firing on all cylinders in England's top flight. Diamande joined Leipzig from Spanish side Leganes last summer, and there's no question that he's now riding the crest of a wave. However, the teenager has a lot of work still to complete, and whether he's ready to take the baton from Liverpool in the Premier League is another question entirely. Salah's exit is more than just poignant. It's the end of an era, the door closing on the journey of a man who bestowed so much joy upon the Anfield outfit. While Mané left several years ago, he too was an unstoppable force, signed from a divisional rival in Southampton for 35 meters. Could Ndiaye be the next version? He's certainly not Salah, but then who is? Instead, Ndiaye carries more of a likeness to his compatriot Mané, and given that he is settled as a sharp attacker in the Premier League, he could be the perfect upgrade on Salah and an alternative to Diomande, whose youth and inexperience suggest he might undergo an initial period of probation in Slot's squad. Darwin Nunez's Saudi nightmare after January transfer twist and message to Al Hilal boss Darwin Nunez's time in Saudi Arabia has not gone to plan since his big money move from Liverpool last summer. Darwin Nunez has endured something of a nightmare since leaving Liverpool to join Al Hilal in the Saudi Pro League. The former Red striker was sold for $46 million last summer, having won the Premier League, but ultimately failed to meet expectations at Anfield since his blockbuster move in 2022. The 26-year-old will return to England on Friday, where he is expected to face the Three Lions at Wembley Stadium for Uruguay. Nunez was called up by Marcelo Bielsa for the upcoming friendlies against England and Algeria, despite his club career coming to a crashing halt. He had managed just 6 goals in 17 appearances in the Saudi top flight until February of this year. His inconsistent form led Al Hilal to dip into the transfer market and sign another high-profile striker, Real Madrid legend and Ballon d'Or winner Karim Benzema from Al Ittihad in a major winter window twist. Not only did Benzema take Nunez's place in the starting lineup, the Uruguayan was also removed from Al Hilal's domestic squad list altogether last month. Saudi clubs are limited to just 8 foreign players born before 2003 in their domestic 25-man roster. Simone Inzaghi deemed Benzema more important to his plans than Nunez. The Al Hilal manager explained his call by saying, "The decision was difficult, but that's the job of a coach. He makes many decisions every day, even in every training session. Nunez and Pablo Mari are good players. I want them in all competitions, but we know the restrictions on registering foreign players." There was speculation following Benzema's arrival in early February that Darwin sought to leave the club after just 6 months. He was linked with Fenerbahce and Flamengo, but no deal materialised, meaning he is instead expected to leave in the summer. Despite being left out of Saudi Pro League fixtures, Nunez remains fully registered in the Asian Champions League. His last appearance in the competition came on February 16th, where he played the full 90 minutes against Al Wahda. Nunez scored both goals in a 2-1 victory and sent the owners a message with a curious celebration. The former Red Star turned around and, while walking backwards, stared towards the box where Al Hilal's owner sits, holding his gaze for several seconds with a wry smile before looking away and muttering something under his breath. He has not played a competitive game for the club in over a month due to Al Hilal's scheduled AFC Champions League last 16 games against Al Sadd being postponed as a result of the ongoing regional conflict. Nunez earns 20 mitzvah per year at Al Hilal, which equates to almost $400,000 per week in wages. He has registered 9 goals and 5 assists in 24 appearances across all competitions this season. The Uruguayan does not have any photos of himself while playing for Al Hilal on his Instagram page, despite having several from his Liverpool career.